Hey folks, I'm Raven, and I have a question for you. Now that we've got our hands on the Jeff rework, how is everybody feeling about it? Do you think it's more fun? Less fun? Stronger? Weaker? I want to know what you think. And whilst I wait for you to write up your YouTube comment essays, I'm going to be sharing my final opinion on the rework today. I'm going to start off with some gameplay like I did last time, and then I'll move on to talk about my opinions and my final thoughts on everything afterwards. I'll have both sections timestamped differently below, so if you just want to watch my gameplay, you can just watch that, and if you just want to hear my opinion, you can just watch that section. Hopefully you can enjoy, have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for watching. I just miss old Jeff because I can't play as aggressively anymore. You need to play way more passively. Like, it's not impossible to be aggressive, but you have way less agency in the game overall. This Spider-Man really wants to kill me, but he isn't quite good enough to kill me. So I'm just holding my swim so he can't do anything. This isn't the gameplay. Oh. It was a weird choice to do that there anyway, because at most he would have got you, because I can dodge it. Bizarre choice on his part, to be honest. See, I could have saved you there before, but I can't now.
No, you couldn't.
No, I could have with bubbles. Because of burst.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There are times where Jeff feels the same and times where he's just worse. And it entirely depends on context. And then I moved into people like Lucio, and then I became a tank main, and I played whatever tank I wanted to. And then I went back to maining Lucio. You were all in a straight line. That was like the perfect situation for me. Our Star-Lord just... Oh, who hit me? He didn't even peek. I couldn't even see him. Wait, how did he shoot me? I wasn't even around the corner. What the f just happened? Got two.
Bring them here. Bring them to my here.
I'm behind you. Yeah, I'm looking down. Yeah, based. Based Frenchie. I'm farming more stats than I used to, so I might actually gain more ranked points if I can win as him.
Yeah, you gain 9 points in
You know
season.
what? Because he's a stats farmer now. He gets really good stats because he gets loads of kills. Because he just hits people with one tick and it counts as a kill. How's the new Storm Jeff combination? I don't like it. I get zero control over it, so I don't like it. Because I have to trust that the Storm is a good player. Cloak's massively out of position. No revive. Burn that. Yeah, big. We should get this. I mean, they're one down. We win this fight. Oh, no, that's not good. Oh, that's so not good. I can't see anyone to know who got stunned. It does feel like he gets his ult slower, which is annoying again, because it's one of the only active parts of his kit. Cloak's behind us on one hit. Strange is dead. What do you even do as Jeff against some sweaty Black Panther now? You don't. He will outburst your healing. You're better at surviving things that are sustained damage. You're worse at surviving things that are...
Burst damage.
Burst damage, yeah. So if something can burst you, like a Storm combo or a Black Panther combo, you need to just leave and not fight it. But if it's something that's like sustained and over time, you're more likely to be able to survive it. But you'll be able to tell in my playstyle, I'm immediately positioning way further back. I'm no longer like pushing up onto the enemy as often. Like I can occasionally, but that's if an enemy is isolated and I know that I can take them. And remember that I'm speaking from somebody that has played Jeff not for a low amount of time. Like I'm a fairly experienced Jeff player at this point. So I can get away with that because I already knew most of his limits. But like if you're a new Jeff player, you're gonna have a really hard time surviving at all. And I feel like as people realize that he's more easily punished, You'll die more often.
Okay, and
Oh. It's fine, we can win off it. Like you can see here, I'm regenerating really fast to the point where he's really struggling to fight me. But if he bursts me, I die. I'm also out of the ground now, so he can just fight me, and I can't do anything about it. Yeah, I mean, it's not utterly F tier. Is he viable in comp? Will you go back to Penny? I mean, I don't think he's unviable in comp. I hate that I have 3 chances to hit someone, and then if I don't, they just... nothing happens. Yeah, I mean, we really didn't want to see this go through, but it's went through. The best we can do is try to cope with it and hope that it gets done. It won't get reverted. I've said that for a while. I don't think they're going to revert it. If they were going to, they would have reacted more publicly sooner. Too much of the community likes that Jeff is now worse. I can combine it this time.
team up, just team up.
Yeah, because that's when it's good, when they're all stacked in one place. Good job, Robin. See, that's it, but then they were all on cart and there was a support ult to eat through. The first time there was no support ult to eat through until I ulted. I imagine that there'll be more Jeff players now, because the healbot players will play him.
Like your audience went from Mercy DPS to Mercy healbot.
Wait my own.
So I can kill her.
My god, I tried to do the bubble push. No, I know Zesty, it was muscle memory. That's why I was annoyed. Because I did the muscle memory thing of trying to push them back off with bubbles, and then I realized that, you know, he doesn't have bubble push anymore. That stunned me for a second. Kill Doc Glass, kill Doc Glass, kill Doc Glass. So he can't teleport.
Yeah, but he goes to fast respawn, okay.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't matter. It's overtime. He won't have time to. No, it's why we needed to kill him at the end.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see how many points I gain, because statistically, I've done amazing. I've done way better than I normally do, even though I don't think I had as much like control over whether we won the game. My stats look good.
The thing about it is that the way the matchmaking, the MMR is gained is mostly stats, and since DPS doesn't have a lot of stats but have a lot of impact, and current Jeff has a lot less impact but a lot more stats, you're gonna get more by default.
I gained 27 points. I gained 27 points. Okay, so after having access to the rework for just over a week, and now getting to play in ranked ladder, which is always going to be a much better representation of a hero than the early access, because in early access there's no real matchmaking. You can be going against unranked content creators, you can be going against top 500 content creators. You're never going to get a pure true test of a character when you're going against such a wide variation of skill. How do I feel about the Jeff rework? In short, I think it is worse than old Jeff. But I should make a distinction. When I say he is worse, I don't necessarily mean meta worse, I just mean fun worse, which is a subjective opinion. It might be that in a couple of weeks it comes out that Jeff is now S tier. That will not change my opinion that he is now worse than he used to be. I play for fun. I believe the game should be balanced in a way that encourages fun for the hero you are playing. And following that logic, Jeff being less fun in my opinion means he is a worse hero. I do not know how he is going to fare in terms of other supports, because it will take time for people to figure out the best and most optimal way to play him in his new healer playstyle. Speaking of healer mains, if you are a healer and a healer Jeff player, you have won. This update is great for you. Jeff is now a pretty good healer. I do not think he's better than the likes of Luna or Invisible Woman, which does make him kind of redundant, because why would you play Jeff as a healer if the other healers are just better than him? But he is a better healer now than he is anything else. So the healer Jeffs, they're going to have a good time, I believe, with this update. If you are, like myself, a flex Jeff player or a DPS Jeff player, a flex Jeff player being somebody that moves between the healing and the damage role, a DPS Jeff player being somebody that only focuses on the flanking and damaging side of Jeff, you aren't going to like this update. It makes him significantly worse at fighting, it makes his survivability significantly worse, it makes his mobility significantly worse. He no longer has the ability to flank at all. They didn't nerf his flank ability, they removed it from the game. He no longer has the consistent mobility to survive, he no longer has the burst healing he would need to survive, and he no longer has the damage he would need to follow up on killing people. The issue with that is he only has 3 shots on a 9-second total reload, and the beam doesn't do enough follow-up damage to kill people that are being healed, because every single form of healing in the game out heals his beam's damage. So you might go in, you might land all 3 shots, but assuming they're not stood next to a cliff or somewhere you can cheese kill them with the knockback, you aren't going to be able to follow up, assuming they have any type of reasonable reaction speed. So if you're going into this update hoping that there is some way you can still play your favorite shark in an aggressive fashion while still being a support for your team, that no longer exists. He now plays very much like a healbot style character, where his only and primary job is to heal. Touching on the other parts of the update for Jeff, both of his team-ups, the Venom team-up, you hit one button and then you get a small amount of healing for teammates near you, and if they're at full health, they gain 50 overshield. It isn't it. It's on a 20-second cooldown. To put that into perspective, Scarlet Witch's team-up is on a 20-second cooldown, and that team-up is terrifying. Like, that's real scary. If you get hit by that team-up, in whether you're stunned or whether you're a swimming Jeff trying to escape and she manages to trace you, you explode, versus the 50 over health that you can give your teammates with Jeffs. It isn't really, the cooldown on that is huge for the minimal gain it gives them. And then the Storm team up, the Sharknado. Now, the Sharknado as an ability is situationally the worst team up in the game and situationally the best team up in the game, because you're spending 2 ultimates to do 1 ultimate's worth of area of effect damage. Now, the damage is really scaled up and you do eat people and it has the potential to wipe a team, but if you don't get a huge swing that guarantees the win in that fight after spending 2 ultimates, it was actively terrible for your ult economy. If you use this ultimate and you get 2 picks with it, you've wasted an ultimate at least, because you can almost guarantee 2 picks with a Jeff ultimate or a Storm ultimate on its own. It is a very easy team up to get wrong and to get negative value from, but it's pretty okay. I mean, it looked like it was going to be really fun to use, but then when I realized that the Jeff side input is you hit 1 button, you give up your ultimate, one of the only parts of his kit that give him any type of agency anymore, you give that up. And then the DPS player gets to do everything from there, including choosing where the ultimate ends, which means if they choose a bad spot, new Jeff without any burst healing will just drop out of the sky in front of the enemy team and get blown up. Or you might wipe the entire enemy team with it and win the fight. Apart from you didn't do that, the DPS player did that. And the problem with this is, again, you didn't get to do anything. You hit 1 button and nothing happened within your control. Now, I understand there is no way they could have given both players control over something like this, but it is just another example of the Marvel Rivals dev team going, the supports should just heal and the DPS get to do all of the actions that result in having agency and control over the outcome of a game. This ultimate can potentially be the most deadly ultimate in a team fight. If it is used badly, it is a waste of 2 ultimates, which is a third of your team's potential ult power, and will swing the ult economy into the enemy's favor, guaranteeing them the win of potentially 2 fights in a row, maybe even 3. Finally, I'm going to touch on Jeff's agency. Jeff, as a support character, has always had really high agency, meaning his ability to affect the outcome of a game, far higher than a normal support. Why? Because he could fill the role that was needed in the moment. Did your Luna just get picked off by a random headshot from a Hawkeye? Well, don't worry, you can rotate back and heal. Is your DPS player slightly underperforming? Don't worry, you can rotate round and fill in and flank onto the backline, applying pressure for your team to be able to win the fight. Jeff has always had the ability to fill in whatever role he needed within the team composition. Unfortunately, with that side of his kit being removed entirely, he now has far less agency. I would even argue less agency than a character like Invisible Woman or Luna Snow. Why? Because both of those characters are on average more powerful than him, but also because their ultimates are almost guaranteed value, whereas Jeff's ultimate is very famously a coin flip. You might solo win a fight with it if the enemy team fails to react, but you could also very easily guarantee your own death. In the previous patch, if you messed up your ultimate and you got that funny little stun animation that for some reason is still in the game, you could very quickly burst heal yourself afterwards and do your best to escape. You would sometimes, you wouldn't other times. Now, if you fail and the enemy team has any type of reaction speed, you are almost guaranteed to be killed. There is a 0% chance you survive if the enemy team want to kill you, because you cannot burst heal yourself, meaning they can just blow you up before your healing lets you recover your health. As a curious little side tangent, I'd like to just ask the question, is there a single other character in the game that gets punished for messing up their ultimate in the same way Jeff does, where you mess it up, you've lost your ultimate, that's already a punishment, and then you get the second punishment of being stunned and left incredibly vulnerable, often in the middle of multiple enemies? I can't think of anyone, but maybe that's just me, maybe I'm being silly, maybe there are other characters that are punished equally as harshly for messing their ultimate up. And one last thing I'd like to address, there is a strange phenomenon in the Marvel Rivals community mindset, where strategists must be healers, which is bizarre when you look at the roster of strategist heroes and you see heroes like Loki, Adam, and Mantis, all known for their damage, and now Luna having the ability to two-shot headshot squishies. It doesn't feel fair to demand that all strategists are healers when they've just added Ultron to the game. So to conclude, Jeff is now very much a healer support. He's no longer a flank or flex support. His only real job is to heal and use his ultimate, sometimes aggressively, sometimes defensively. If you are a Jeff player that likes to heal, you will probably very much like this rework. If you're a Jeff player that like to do damage or have the option to flank and do damage, you are not going to like this update very much. However, I would like to point out there is nothing wrong with liking this update. Whilst a lot of the Jeff players in my community and other communities are very against this update, if you find yourself having fun with this update, wonderful. A rework should focus on making a character more enjoyable to play, or at least equally enjoyable to play, whilst retaining their personality and identity, and I feel like this update has failed to do that. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Jeff community at large will now enjoy the character more after getting their hands on the update. Maybe I'm in the minority. If you are somebody that enjoyed it, I'd love to hear your reasoning why. Please do explain to me what made you enjoy the update more than you expected to. I'd also like to know if you were a Jeff player that favored healing before, because if you are, that fits into the idea that healing Jeffs would like this update, because healing does feel better on Jeff now, outside of the lack of his ability to burst, which will lead to situations where Jeff would have been actually better at healing before than he is now, although it's a situational thing. Sometimes now he is better, sometimes before he is better. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough. Thank you for watching, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time.